The Tale of Wanjiru. The sky had been dry for so long that the earth itself seemed to groan. Cracks spread across the fields like wounds, and every blade of grass had turned brittle and yellow. The rivers shrank to muddy trickles, and the wells yielded nothing but damp air. The Kikuyu people looked up at the sky each morning, hoping to see clouds, but day after day the sun beat down mercilessly. The famine had stretched into its second year. Children cried through the night, their stomachs tight with hunger. Old men stared at the horizon, remembering the last time such a drought had come. And mothers held their little ones close, whispering promises they could not keep. The rains will come. The land will live again. In the heart of the village sat the council of elders, men with white hair and deep lines carved into their faces. They gathered under the sacred fig tree to search for answers. Prayers had been said, goats and sheep had been sacrificed, and offerings of milk and honey had been poured on the earth. Yet still, the heavens remained closed. One evening, after a long silence, the oldest of them spoke. His voice was cracked, like dry wood ready to split. The spirits are angry. They do not hear us. Something greater must be given, or this famine will take us all. The others looked at him, uneasy. They knew what he meant, but none dared to say it aloud, until another elder murmured, "A life for life. A daughter of this land must return to the earth, so the sky may open again." The words hung in the air like smoke. The people wept when they heard of it, but hunger is a cruel master. When the choice is between one life and many, fear twists the heart. The elders sent their decision through the village. A maiden would be sacrificed, buried alive so her spirit could plead with the ancestors to release the rain. Days later, their choice fell upon a young girl named Wanjiru. Wanjiru was gentle and kind, with eyes that shone like dark rivers at night. She was not the daughter of chiefs or warriors but of a poor farmer and his wife. She loved to sing as she fetched water, and children followed her just to hear her songs. Her laughter was light, a small flame in days of sorrow. When the villagers came to her hut and told her mother of the elders' decision, grief tore through the family. Her mother clung to her daughter, her tears falling like the rain they longed for. "Not my child. Take me instead," she begged. But tradition was cold. The elders shook their heads. The spirits demanded a maiden, untouched and pure. Wanjiru was chosen, and no other could take her place. That night, Wanjiru sat quietly by the fire. She did not cry, though her heart was heavy. Her father looked at her and said, "My daughter, you are brave. Your sacrifice will save us. Your name will be remembered for all time." But inside, Wanjiru trembled. She was only a girl, not yet ready to leave the world of the living. Still, she whispered a prayer. "Spirits of my people, if I must go, let my voice be heard. Let there be one who remembers me." The whole village gathered as the sun rose red on the horizon. They led Wanjiru to an open place where the earth was cracked and dry. Women wailed, men lowered their heads, and the children clutched their mothers' legs, too frightened to understand. The elders carried shovels and hoes. Slowly, they dug a deep hole in the ground. The dust rose into the air, stinging their eyes, but they did not stop until the pit was wide and dark, a gaping mouth ready to swallow her. Wanjiru was dressed in a simple white cloth. Her mother kissed her face again and again, and her father stood stiff, unable to watch. The elders raised their hands to the sky and prayed, "Spirits of the ancestors, hear us. We give you this child of the land. Through her, bring rain, bring life, bring mercy." Then Wanjiru was lowered into the pit. As the earth closed above her, she sang in a trembling but clear voice, "It is raining in the house of my father. It is raining in the house of my mother. It is raining on the fields of the people." The villagers watched in awe, for as her voice rose, the sky began to change. From the east came a cool wind, and clouds gathered where before there had been only sun. Her songs seemed to weave with the wind, drawing the clouds closer. When the last of the soil covered her, the first drops of rain began to fall. Lightly at first, like tears upon the earth, then stronger, until the people lifted their faces in joy. Children laughed as the mud splashed their feet, and women cried out in gratitude. The famine was broken. But beneath the ground, Wanjiru's song was fading. The rains returned. The rivers swelled again, and the fields drank deeply. Maize pushed up through the soil, and goats grew fat once more. The people celebrated, dancing around the fires, their stomachs full for the first time in many months. Yet in their joy, they forgot the girl beneath the earth. His name was Mwangi, a young man from the same village. He had loved Wanjiru quietly, never daring to tell her. He admired the way her songs lifted the air, the way her eyes softened when she spoke to children, the way she carried herself with quiet strength. When he saw her taken to the pit, his heart broke inside him. For days after, he could not sleep. Though the rains had come, his dreams were filled with Wanjiru's voice, calling faintly from beneath the soil. One night, unable to bear it any longer, Mwangi took a spade and went to the place of her burial. The moon lit the ground silver, and the wind whispered through the trees. He knelt on the earth and pressed his ear to it. At first there was nothing. Then, faint and far away, he heard her voice. "It is raining in the house of my father. It is raining in the house of my mother." His heart pounded. She was alive. All through the night, Mwangi dug. His hands blistered, his arms ached, but he did not stop. The soil was heavy with the recent rains, clinging to his body, but he dug deeper and deeper. At last, his spade struck something soft. He dropped to his knees and cleared the earth with his hands. There, weak and trembling, lay Wanjiru. Her eyes fluttered open, and she whispered his name. He lifted her gently from the pit, her body cold and frail. Tears ran down his face as he held her. "You live, Wanjiru. You live." She smiled faintly. "I sang for them, and the rains came. But I thought I would never see the sun again." Mwangi wrapped his cloak around her and carried her back toward the village. When the people saw Mwangi walking into the village with Wanjiru in his arms, they were struck with fear. Some fell to their knees, believing they were seeing a ghost. Others cried out that the spirits would punish them for disturbing her. But Wanjiru spoke with a voice both weak and strong. "I gave my life for you, and the rains returned. But the spirits did not keep me. They heard my song and they gave me back to you." Silence fell. Slowly, the elders stepped forward. They looked at her, at Mwangi, at the sky above that now held both clouds and sunlight. At last, the oldest elder spoke. "Then the spirits have shown mercy. This girl is blessed. She belongs not to death, but to life." From that day, Wanjiru was no longer just a maiden of the village. She was honored as the girl who brought the rains and returned. Children were taught her song, and mothers told her story when they looked at the first clouds of the rainy season. As for Mwangi, he stayed always by her side. His love, which had been silent, grew into a bond unbroken. And together, they walked the fields, reminding the people of what had been nearly lost. The tale of Wanjiru is told even now among the Kikuyu, passed from elder to child, from fire to fire. It is a story of sacrifice, but also of love. Love strong enough to reach beneath the earth, love that pulls life back from the grasp of death. And whenever the rains fall after long months of dryness, the people remember the girl who sang beneath the ground, whose voice called the clouds, and whose courage and loyalty brought her back to the world of the living.